So while we're over here in real world, I'm over here in real world land. This is real world. Meaning I have a real job. I go to work. I work from about 40 hours. Well, I wouldn't even say 40 hours a week, but I have a good job. I have great customers that come in. I give 5-star, 5-diamond service. I'm thriving. I'm going to the gym. I'm living my life. Although there's attempts on a constant basis to try to irritate me. However, the irritations become less and less as I'm able to work through it, as I utilize my yoga mat, my spin bike, and going for long walks in the neighborhood. And I tattle like crazy, meaning I call the police when things around me don't work. For example, the 3 motorcyclists who tried to run me off the road with me in another car. And then the next day, the same motorcyclist was in a car accident and almost hurt my child. However, the way of being at this point has been, I'm afraid to call the police, because if I call the police won't come, or I'll be abused by the person who's the abuser. However, that abuser will act as if they're not the abuser. You're the abuser, fool. Folks, you need to take a look at what's actually going on here. Yap diddy yap diddy yap yap yap. Yap diddy yap yap yap. Literally watching Twitter and Shu in conversation is a prime example of the yapping. No conclusions, no successes. Why are we bringing a Chinaman into our country to put him on the stand? He's not American. He is not American. He belongs in jail, and that means for China too, because he's doing the same thing over in China as he is doing here. You have not one time tried to ask real questions about what's going on here, but you have very little patience for discussion, which makes it look like Chu is winning because he's super calm. Did you show the videos of live animals being eaten? Did you show the videos of women in bikini underwear who are sitting with their legs spread? While Americans spout off that that's free speech, while they take seduction into the children's elementary schools by psychotic women they call teachers, who are then filming them on a daily basis when it's nap time. All energy exchanges that no one quite understands. Although you're not willing to take a look or investigate it appropriately, you are just trying to control everyone. You do realize the number one problem here is that we're not communicating or conversating, and you're allowing demons to take over this planet. And that goes for celebrities, meaning the fact that Gwyneth Paltrow's ugly face is all over the internet talking about some accident that she caused, and people are still siding with Gwyneth Paltrow when she is a abuser. She's an abuser. She's been an abuser to us women in my generation since the day she started acting. Not to mention to us as women, but to people like Brad Pitt. Matt Damon comes up, Ben Affleck, Chris Martin, and etc. However, they've been placed under gag orders. You literally watch her and smizing at the camera as she's attempting to manipulate the audience into believing that she's innocent when she's the guilty one. She's an example of what social media and Hollywood is up to as she tries to sell us the scent of her vagina. As she tries to occur as a health and wellness instructor, but it's actually demon behavior as she's infected by invasion of the body snatchers. Never had any laws or rules to apply to her. However, she's trying to teach other people that that's the way it is for them. I'm not sure if you're understanding the implications of allowing people like Madison Beer, who has a fake nose and a personality that has no substance to it, as she's never been to college, nor has she had any experience or education except for one thing only, and that's how to bully and abuse her audience while portraying herself as a friend. To then create people just like her to mass produce bullying and harassment to men specifically to start, but then to women that follow. It matters to me why, you ask, is because I have children. My children matter to me, boys and girls, and they are good children. They are up to create good things in the world, and this 20s and 30s generation, as they age and becomes 30s and 40s, they will then take the lead and destroy what we know to be family with TRANS conversation. The reason we have man and woman is to create life. Meaning 90% of people, 99.99% I should say, don't have an experience of wanting to be the opposite. They want to be themselves, at least when they're a child, until propagandists show up in their classroom being a boy wearing girls' clothing and girls' makeup because they looked in somebody's eyes and in a spark of an instance their mother was abusive to them and they met someone who was a fraud and a fake underneath all that makeup. And they got lit up, not in inspiration, but in manipulation. That's the difference between someone in true and authenticity, like Cher's son, who really needed to become the opposite. And that was what he did. And now he educates people on functional, grounded information, reminding us to accept all those who are different than us. However, remembering that we are all who we are. It's called conflict. It's called discussions. It's called learning. You're not perfect. I'm pretty close to it. That's me. Because I've always been the type to accept people for who they were, no matter what race, gender, color, what was going on in their minds, if they were good people. And then even in the moments where people were not good people, I even gave people second, third, fourth, and fifth chances. However, every single time, those same people fell short, working with alien demons, evidence and receipts that will be exposed in the future. And you can take a look at Hillary Clinton, Pelosi, Obama, and all the Democratic Party, and The View. Talking about the television show. As they're really only to create a cover-up of what they've done to us as a nation by utilizing the CIA. Most of you talk and discuss about how the government is this and that, and how, well, it's ran by people. Ran by people who were hired to protect us. However, what they've done instead is they've used us. You don't understand how to correct it either. Instead, what you do is you offset the balance of the scale, and you create a confusion, a control aspect from the low man. Meaning what we're taking a look at here is Chu trying to overthrow governments in association with the secret team all across the globe, from China to the US to Canada to Mexico to Great Britain to China to Russia. You name the country, Qatar even. However, you all think you're the smartest of all, but I can assure you, you are not. You do not understand the spirituality aspects of what's going on here when it comes to politics. You only know one thing and one thing only, Qatar. I should say two things. How do I look? How much money? And a third thing, how can I get my way? You do not think for the poor, you think for yourselves. And Qatar, you're an example across the globe on what millennial generation and Gen Zers are up to. Absolutely nothing except a free handout. Now, as you start to contemplate your role in this, you need to start taking accountability on what you've done to the American people, but not just the American people, humanity as a whole, as children are being seen crying all over the internet as they've been abused and filmed by their mother, by their fathers, by their sisters and their brothers. But we're stronger than that, I will tell you that. We've already won, folks. It's now time for you to speak up against the propagandists known as the Democratic Party, social media influencers, and these celebrities that you're putting on pedestals, as they are nothing but alien demons out to destroy you, your children, and this country.